Hello, hello, hello. Hey guys, it's Michael here again with the Property Shop, broker by EXP, and we're located here at the Success Center. I appreciate you guys for chiming in, for tuning in, for checking out this video. My goal is to actually share with you guys, the public, or if you're in the real estate business or real estate world, just some pointers, some how-tos, some FYIs that I just wanted to share with you, and you might be able to use them so forth somewhere down the line. What I want to share with you today is for you sellers, for those of you who's thinking about maybe selling your home or property or part of a estate. There are some things I want to share to do a make ready before you get ready to list that house. But one thing I want to share also, there's a few ways to buy a home. Of course, there's always cash. There's a conventional loan, there's FHA, USDA, a VA loan, federal land grant. There are different ways to buy real estate, whether it's commercial, residential, or land, raw land. But today, I just want to share with you sellers some things to do to get your house ready to present, to put it on the market. It doesn't matter who you're listening with. It's just that when that buyer goes out and get a loan for the house, there is a process there's a step in the process that lender will send out an appraiser to do an appraisal on that property to make sure that the money that they're spending, that property is worth that amount. So instead of looking at the criteria for conventional loan or USDA, I just want to focus a little bit on some of the requirements that an appraisal would look for. An appraisal would look for on an FHA loan. We have a tendency to get a lot of those presented from buyers to sellers. So sellers, I want you to pay attention. And also guys, if there's things that you have questions and concerns about that you want me maybe to try to address during this 5, 10, 15-minute video, just DM me, direct message me, or give me a call. I'll be more than happy to try to work those in. Okay, if you get ready to sell your house, one of the things we want you to discuss, and this is really in the state of Texas, particularly East Texas. Peeling or chipping paint. What is peeling or chipping paint? We know that in East Texas, we get that morning sun, which is not so bad, but we get that evening sun that's really can bake on your house. If your house faces the east or your house faces the west, that front door, if it's a wood door, if it's painted door, it might not crack, but that paint will start to chip. It will start to peel around the facing of the door, on the roof line of your house. Where your roof line comes down, if you have gutters, underneath the gutters, or that fascia board, the piece of wood that faces. And I'm gonna try to use terms that a layman would understand. That piece of wood that faces out towards the street or faces out from the house. Anything you see where the paint might be peeling or chipping, that's a flag. It's not really a big deal. Sometimes you can just basically get a painter, or if you have some skills yourself, just scrape the paint off and repaint it. It'll look fresh and new. Another point I want to share with you, any signs of mold or mildew. Now, just because there's some green stuff on the side of the house, it doesn't mean that it's a big issue. A lot of time, pressure washing will get that off of the house. Even a little bit of mud or dirt, pressure washing will take care of that. But in those areas, in the ceiling, in the corners, in the closets, in some of those tight spaces that's cool, that's dark, and maybe moist, if there's no air circulating, or maybe there's been a water leak or water damage, those areas, they don't properly dry out, if they don't get the proper ventilation, you can get some mold and mildew. It doesn't mean that it's black mold, but you get some mold and mildew that will grow in those areas because it's have the right environment and the right atmosphere, and you will start to see mold and mildew to grow in those areas. So this is what the appraisal is looking for. Also, if you're having a home inspection done, these are some things that will flag. Any flooring that is in disarray. If you're walking through the house and you can see the ground from the inside of the house, you probably have a problem. But if it's that bad, you really have a problem. But if you have any ceramic tile, carpet, laminate flooring, anything that's not properly attached to the flooring, especially when you have those thresholds going from one room to another room, or maybe where you had to install a new vinyl floor and new vinyl tiles, and they wasn't maybe properly installed, or heavy traffic areas, you can get the tile sometimes to either buckle or sort of pull up. Those are some things that might flag. Yeah, it's cosmetic, but if you can address those before you get the house prepared and listed for the market, it just might save you a little bit of headache in the long run. This is a good one here. Water stains on the walls or the ceiling. Again, I talked about mold and mildew. Here, those two really sort of go hand in hand. Water stain on the walls or the ceilings. If you go out and look at your roof, if you have some gables, you have some valleys where the roof comes together, you have leaves that's backed up, or pine needles especially, they have a tendency to get caught between the shingles a little bit easier than maybe some leaves or some sticks. That water sometimes will run, and that almost act as a barrier, or like a dam. The water will back up and it'll get down in between those areas if a roof has lost some of its integrity. And so you might not never see it, but the water would eventually drip. The water falls here. If I were to put a drop of water on this mic, of course it's going to soak it up, but the water don't fall here and run out here. The water will fall here, and it will find a pathway down this mic, and when it comes to a point where it can't run anymore, it'll start to leak. So maybe the stain is right above my head, but the leak is to the left of me somewhere. So those are some things you want to consider. Make sure that roof is taken care of. Make sure that you has to repair. You know, we have a lot of storms, a lot of high winds, tornadoes, and ice with a lot of trees that's falling on roofs. So you will make sure that the integrity of your roof is put together. If not, you'll find those areas where maybe it has lost some of its integrity, because water will find a water will find a crack. And when it do, it'll penetrate your ceiling, it'll penetrate the roof, and it'll start to drip, and you'll see some discoloration, brown or beige or tan areas in your ceiling, on your walls, to show that maybe there are some leakage somewhere in your structure. Signs of termite damage. When you do a home inspection, a lot of times we suggest that you do what's called a WDI, wood destroying insects. It doesn't always mean termites. It could be carpenter ants. One way to sort of tell that, if you see like little tunnels, little ant line, little tunnels up the side of your wall, or in closets, or around your porch areas, areas that's maybe on the outside wall or exterior walls of your home, patios that have maybe some siding around your light sockets. Anything that's from the bricks or from the foundation up, you see anything that looks sort of weird, you just might want to get that checked out. You can go and maybe press on some areas, even on interior walls. You might have your paint, and you can press on the paint and it seems like it's real soft, or there's nothing behind it, almost like a shell, like an eggshell, maybe like skin, there's nothing behind it. It's a possibility that you could have some type of termites damage there. Or if you see some areas where you're like, where did this dirt come from? Maybe it's not really dirt. Maybe it could be like a dust from the tunneling that the termites have caused. So those are just sort of signs. Again, these are some things to look for when you get ready to list your house, that the appraiser will come in and look for. Exposed wiring, whether it's in the wall, your fuse box, electrical panel. Anytime there's electrical wires that's just sort of dangling, like saying, hello, here I am, you might want to get that checked out by an experienced electrician. Yeah, Uncle Bubba can probably do it. Uncle whoever can probably do it. But you might want to get that checked out by a professional electrician. Damage to the exterior home, including the soffits, the fascia, and the siding. Again, this sort of goes with that chip and paint. When you look around your roof line, when you look around your doors, anywhere there's wood, say you might say, well, I live in a brick house. Yeah, brick covers either a third, or it goes all the way up to where your roof line is. But anywhere where there's wood, anywhere where there are some shingles or some air vents that maybe has lost their integrity, or haven't, maybe they're not functioning the way they should, you sometimes get water in those areas, and you can start to get what's called wood rot. Simply, it starts to rot. Anywhere there's wood, maybe coming in contact with the ground, or coming in contact with some areas that gets wet, you will eventually have some wood rot there. Sometimes you might have to replace the whole piece of wood, which could be a 1x4, could be a 1x6. You might can maybe cut off the post or replace the post. All those things are flags when you're getting ready to list your house to sell. And I have a couple more things, and I'll let you guys go. Hot water heater in this repair. there's codes for when hot water heaters was installed in the 70s and 80s and the 90s. So the department is always changing the requirements. So just sort of make sure the hot water heater is clean. You want to really make sure that it has a metal aluminum pan underneath it in case you get your leak or your tank burst, and also a release valve or release pipe where it goes from the pan out to the outside, or maybe some on pure beam goes down into the ground under the floor of the house. So you just want to make sure that your hot water heater is working according to its specifications. And if not, they're going to flag it. Doesn't mean that it's not working, but there might be some things that it's not up to code. It's sort of the right word for it. And the last thing that I want to share with you is cracks in a foundation. Maybe you see a house on a hill, a house on a slope, or maybe a house where water have a tendency to run down to the foundation of the house. Sort of a couple of clues to look for if you go outside the house and you have your brick and you have your mortar lines. If you see a crack that look like stair steps going up through your bricks or through your mortar line, that's an indication that or maybe that could be an indication that you have some foundation problems. Doesn't mean that it's serious, but it's just an idea that you have some foundation problems. Also, if you go into the interior of your home and you look on the corner of your doors, or you look in the corner of your ceilings in your rooms, anywhere in the house, it doesn't matter. Especially those homes that's maybe on the corner, if you see a crack that's starting from the ceiling and coming down, that could be an indication also that you're developing or have some slight foundation issues. Guys, again, here are just a few things that I wanted to share with you. I hope it's helpful to you. So we don't want you really to get ready to list your house. Then you get all these flags and all of a sudden you become disappointed or discouraged that now you got all these repairs that you got to make. So what you don't know, maybe not can hurt you, but what you don't know can really cost you in the long run. Hey, again, if there's any questions or comments or some areas you'd like for me to address, you can hashtag me at Realtor Bowtie Guy. You can call me at 903-312-4566, or just direct message me from whatever social media site you might see this video. Again, guys, I am Michael with The Property Shop. We're brokered by eXp Realty. We're located at the Success Center on Old Jacksonville Highway in Tyler, Texas. Peace and blessings to you, and as always, thank you for watching.